nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Call to order the meeting of Monday, October the 14th, and if the clerk would please take the roll.
Councilmember Archibald.
Here.
Councilmember Ashford. Councilmember Beeden.
Here.
Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Pemberton.
Here.
Councilmember Warden.
Here.
Mayor Rep.
Here. You have before you the minutes from the regular meeting of September the 23rd. Is there a motion to receive and file?
So moved.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Archibald. Is there
Support.
a second? Councilmember Pemberton. Is there any additions or deletions, changes?
Mayor Rep.
Yes, Councilmember Warden.
Usually, when we file a thing to be put in the official minutes, there's a small little note under that resolution. I think it was Resolution 1-19-106 about the comprehensive plan. It doesn't have anything about the filed suggestions and concerns from Councilmember Warden in the minutes, and usually it does have a little indication of that. So I'd like to have that added if that's okay.
I will let the clerk address that, but you did pass that out, but you never mentioned it in the meeting, so I don't know if that's the reason why it was not.
What?
You passed that document out to everybody, but you didn't talk from it, if I remember correctly.
Correct. It was just distributed to each council member prior to City Manager Freed doing his presentation.
Madam Mayor, under state statute, as you recognize, the meeting minutes are to document the action of the legislative body. It is not there for commentary. That's why we don't have transcripts of the meetings. It's essentially a legal document documenting the official votes and actions of the legislative body as a whole, and that's pretty much all that's in our meeting minutes and has been.
Well, that's very true, because by law, that is all that's required to be in there, is actually the voting and actions that are taken as far as just distributing something. I'm sure the clerk put it in the file, but it doesn't mean it's noted in the minutes.
It is in the file.
It is in the file, though.
Yeah, they usually just note it that it's in the file. You can receive it at the clerk's office.
You did not verbally ask that at the meeting, nor did you even bring it up, if I recall. You just handed it out prior to the meeting.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact comments of what I made or not.
Yeah, I don't remember you making any comments based on that, so.
Oh. Well, that was my request.
Okay, unless you have, anyone else have anything?
Does anybody have objection to putting that in there? Just a little note.
Well, they are in the file. I mean, if we want to change, I mean, that's really not what minutes are about. It's, you know, you passed it out, but you did not talk about it, so.
I don't remember the exact, what I said and what I didn't say. Usually it's a document that I prepare, I bring it to council meeting, it says please file in official minutes, or in the letter.
And they were
in the
filed
document.
in the official
So,
minutes.
and usually it's noted, that's all, I bring it up, so. It's not noted on this one. It usually is.
Okay. Is there anybody else who has anything on the minutes? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
The minutes will stand as submitted. We now move on to public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the council this evening? If you do, please come forward, give us your name and address, and you have 4 minutes to speak. Seeing no one, I'll declare public comment closed, and we'll move on to from the city manager. And if the clerk would please read the first one.
Accepting the single source quote from Apollo Fire Equipment Company in the amount of $19,500 to purchase battery-powered Hurst hydraulic extrication tools.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Pemberton, is there a second?
Support.
Councilmember Beeden. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor, if you'd like, Chief Nicholson is here to answer any questions, but they are similar to the ones we already have. It is nice that these will be on Chief 2 rig, which will be the main marked vehicle roaming the city, so they'll be ready at the go. They're also, I got a demo of the ones we have currently. They're really plug and play. There's no waiting. You can pull them out and use them immediately, and they're much more reliable.
Is there any questions on this item?
Mayor Rapp?
Yes, Councilmember
I guess
Harris.
my only question is, I was speaking of these battery-powered things, I was comparing some tools lately, and it's probably lithium-ion battery, but is there a backup battery with it, an extra one?
Chief Nicholson.
I think it's kind of crucial today's day and age, because when the LI batteries die, they just completely go out. So.
Absolutely. Mayor and Council, this single source bid is for a Hurst hydraulic tool setup. Every tool in this particular package comes with 2 batteries. So it'll be a 4-battery complement that will supplement the 3-battery complement that's assigned to engine 1, and there is actually a backup 110 AC converter as well. So there's plenty of redundancy in place.
Good job. Thank you.
Any other questions for the chief
Yep,
while
thank
he's
you.
up there? Thank you. We will take the vote.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Beeden? Yes. Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Item 2.
Accepting the quote from Cole Parmer in the amount of $7,874.98 for the purchase of a pressure calibrator to calibrate flow pressure meters at the water filtration plant.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, is there a second?
Support?
Councilmember Pemberton. Is there discussion?
Mayor Rep?
Councilmember Warden.
I just want to appreciate the notes on this, and just for clarity, we've pretty much outsourced this calibration in prior years. It looks like current cost is $3,670 per year, and this purchase here, $7,874 to have this calibrator equipment. Looks like we're going to be doing it in-house now with the water filtration, water filtration plant staff. So that's a pretty nice return on investment, having it within 2 years, roughly. We'll be breaking even on that. Hopefully the equipment lasts longer than that. So I thought that was a good, nice thing to put together for us, and strategic move there to possibly save money over time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, one of the things I do want to point out, one of the things that have come up numerous times is the price point on a lot of these activities are relatively standard operating cost, and our current purchasing threshold was originally written back in the 60s and then updated is very, very low in comparison to other communities. And one of the things we'll be looking at in the next couple of months is developing a purchasing policy to bring to the City Council that would allow us to do some of these operational tasks in similar fashion to other communities on purchasing thresholds.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Beeden? Yes. Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Move on to item 3.
Receive and file notification that Carly Hurley has been appointed by the city manager to the Port Huron Housing Commission to fill a vacancy that expires on December 19, 2022.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support?
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, supported by Councilmember Beeden. Any discussion?
Mayor?
Yes, Councilmember Warden.
Just a little background. I think that the name looks familiar, but if city manager can give a little background on Carly Hurley.
You all received her application several weeks ago, I believe. Carly Hurley is a local resident. She works as a broadcaster in the community at EBW TV, and her maiden name was Humes.
Yep. Appreciate that. I knew I recognized the name from somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Beeden? Yes. Mayor Rep.
Yes. We'll move on to resolutions. Number 1.
Authorizing 15 payments.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, is there a second?
Support?
Councilmember Pemberton. Any questions or discussion on the payments?
Madam Mayor, you will see a change order for the Lighthouse Beach project for some additional concrete work that will be covered by grant funds as well. That was in Phase 2 of the project, but we wouldn't be able to get the trailhead connected to the actual bathrooms without it, and for ADA compliance reasons, we wanted to expedite that.
Mayor,
Councilmember Warden.
one other change order, just a quick question on, was about the, looks like the maintenance garage there, I think where they redid the brick, and now the overhead doors. Drove by it again, it looks great now that it's all completed. But this says additional roof joists, ledger board, and, per the building inspection, and a roof drain. Just if you can give a little background on how it was originally constructed and why we had to do this.
Correct. There was engineering deficiencies in its design. We sent a structural engineer in and decided that it wasn't designed properly, and so they increased the stability of it, added some additional, as you mentioned, work to be done to make sure that that building was safe and met snow load. And so that would have been a project on one of our previous engineers.
Thank you. Looks great.
It does look nice. Just so people know, the brick work was completely redone. We had the brick done, and we didn't believe it was up to our standards, and we have this threshold that we believe that if it doesn't look like you'd want it done in your own home, we'd have it redone. It's the taxpayers' money, but they deserve to have a good job well done. And Sanctum Contracting was just excellent to work with. They looked at the job the subcontractor did, completely agreed and made it right. And so we appreciate, it's nice using a local contractor that really stands behind their work like Sanctum does.
Thank you. Any other discussion? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Beeden?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Rapp.
Yes. Item 2.
Approving the proposal with Fishbeck, Thompson, Carr, and Huber Incorporated for engineering services to perform a focus study to evaluate and recommend physical and operational improvements to the existing aeration system at the wastewater treatment plant.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Pemberton, is there a second?
Support?
Councilmember Beeden. Is there any discussion? Could you just give a little bit on this?
I will have Eric Witter come up to explain this. A little out of my wheelhouse.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. The aeration system saw major improvements within the last 10 years, which were for energy performance. Some of the piping, the major piping feeding the 3 tanks at the time did not need any replacement. Over the last year or so, there's been significant deterioration of the piping, causing air escape, issues with the dissolved oxygen. We've attempted to put repair clamps on some of the piping, but it's just snowballing out of control. So it's a very time-sensitive issue. So we reached out to Fishbeck. They had previously submitted a highly technical proposal on the last major project we did at wastewater plant. So we reached out to them. They came on site, spent about a day, and then gave us a lengthy proposal on what to do as far as their services. So what we'll get out of this is recommendations for short-term as well as long-term, which will help us budget for whatever repairs we need to do.
Any questions from council? No? Thank you.
Thank you.
We will take the vote then.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Beeden?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Mayor Rapp.
Yes. Item 3.
Approving the agreement with Tetra Tech of Michigan, P.C. for the engineering, coordination, and administration of the city's utility master planning and general services for fiscal year 2019.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, is there a second?
Support.
Councilmember Pemberton, is there any discussion?
Mayor Rapp,
Councilmember Harris.
I was looking at this today, and I made a few visits while I looked at it, but it seemed like we were just going to Tetra Tech, and I sat down with one of our other local companies here, and they kind of gave me some really good information that being Tetra Tech was one of the designs for our sanitation system and stuff over the past, and they thought it was their recommendation that it was a good deal to use with Tetra Tech because of their background with this company. I guess the only thing that kind of bothers me a little bit is the we get in here that they give us a flat out, the lowest possible price would be about $153,000. But as everyone knows, with our work with Tetra Tech through the years, right now this year, we're almost at $700,000 that we've paid them after tonight. And I think that's one of the costs that maybe we're going to have to look at in a couple of years and stuff if we want to keep treading water or getting clean water. So, but I will be voting yes for this, and I just want to thank the other people for their thoughtful knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, Councilman Harris brings up an excellent point in the fact that because Tetra Tech knows our system, we don't have to pay another firm to learn our system, to go in and evaluate our system. They know what they're working with. But additionally, the fees for Tetra Tech are in alignment with the total project cost. So this year, we've literally done millions and millions of dollars of work, and the engineering correlates with the level of work you're doing. So some years we have less, some years we have more, but it's based on the scope of work and the level of work we're doing.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion on this item? We will take the vote.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Beeden?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Mayor Rep?
Yes. So that actually concludes our regular part of the agenda. It's a short meeting tonight. We do have a couple of announcements. The annual Cops and Jocks Spaghetti Dinner will be held on October the 22nd at the Seaway Terminal, and it starts at 4 o'clock and goes till 7. Thank you. Encourage everybody to go. FEMA will be hosting a flood risk open house for the Lake Huron shoreline communities on November 13th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the St. Clair County Administrative Office in the Dodge Auditorium at 200 Grand River. You can check the city's website at www.porthuron.org for more meeting information. Is there anything else to come before the council this evening?
Mayor Rep, if I could.
Yes,
Can I add just something to that last one about the flood risk? Our safety officers that are from the police and fire department were both at the emergency management meeting here this past weekend. I think it's interesting to note that, we're talking about the high water levels and stuff and how they continually go down. And I think they found the knowledge that the water levels last month didn't go down. In fact, it went up about 3.5 inches. So I think this is something that's probably just is really important. If you're in the water line or in the floodplain, I think this is time to start looking, because we don't know how severe Michigan winters are going to be, but it could be very damaging. So I just wanted to say that. I'm glad to see that on the agenda. Thank you.
Anyone else have anything for the...
Oh, Mayor Rep?
Yes.
Just a couple of comments. I was able to attend the City of Port Huron's Police Awards recognition dinner and ceremony, and I thought it was first class. It was outstanding, and really puts in perspective when you're sitting there. Really, they highlight a few things that our local police officers do on a daily basis. They don't know what they're getting into to protect and serve, and it highlights some of the things that they encounter in our community to keep us safe at night. And I just want to say that was I appreciate that setup. I appreciate that that venue on how they did it. And the other thing I would like to say is I was able to attend, I think like everybody else in the city of Port Huron. I stopped over to the local football game, the Crosstown Showdown on Friday, Port Huron High and Port Huron Northern. And one of the things that took a little time even before, where I drove through some of the streets that were 3 blocks off, and there was cars parked all the way out. Parking lots were full. It was just kind of gave you a little goosebumps before I even went in there that we have such a wonderful stadium facility, and what a great community that from alumni coming back to just the people in the community coming over for that event. So I just want to point out that was just outstanding. And of course we attracted an NFL football player. He was there. I did see him as well, but we saw an awful lot of people. Great I want to say school spirit on both ends, and it was a very close game. So it was very nice to attend, and it was great for the city of Port Huron.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Meeting adjourned.
He was so long.
No, I was gonna say.
Awesome.